A history of conflict. Israel and Hezbollah. The relationship between Israel and Hezbollah is marked by decades of conflict. They have engaged in numerous clashes, including a major war in 2006. This conflict lasted 34 days and resulted in significant casualties and destruction. The current escalation raises concerns about a wider regional war. The international community urges both sides to exercise restraint and de-escalate tensions. Tel Aviv under fire. Hezbollah's missile attack. On September 25, 2024, Hezbollah launched a missile attack targeting Tel Aviv. This attack represents a significant escalation in the ongoing conflict. The missile triggered air raid sirens across the city. Israeli defense systems successfully intercepted the missile. The attack caused widespread panic and disruption in Tel Aviv. This marks the first time Hezbollah has targeted Tel Aviv since the 2006 war. Hezbollah's justification and Israel's retaliation. Hezbollah claimed responsibility for the missile attack on Tel Aviv, stating it was in retaliation for recent Israeli airstrikes in Lebanon. The group justified its actions as a response to what it perceived as Israeli aggression against Lebanese civilians. Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah issued a statement vowing to continue targeting Israel until it ceases its attacks on Lebanon. He emphasized the group's commitment to defending Lebanese sovereignty and resisting Israeli occupation. In response to the missile attack, Israel launched retaliatory airstrikes against Hezbollah positions in southern Lebanon. The Israeli Defense Forces confirmed the strikes, stating they targeted Hezbollah's military infrastructure and launch sites. The exchange of fire between the two sides has further escalated tensions and heightened fears of a wider conflict. The international community has expressed deep concern over the escalating violence and called for an immediate ceasefire. Section 4. Civilian impact, displacement, and humanitarian crisis. The ongoing conflict between Israel and Hezbollah has had a devastating impact on civilians in both countries. In Lebanon, thousands of people have been displaced from their homes due to Israeli airstrikes. Many are seeking refuge in shelters or with relatives in safer areas. The humanitarian situation is worsening, with shortages of food, water, and medical supplies. International aid organizations are struggling to reach those in need due to the ongoing fighting. In Israel, residents of northern towns and cities are living under constant threat of rocket attacks from Hezbollah. Schools and businesses have been closed, and daily life has been severely disrupted. The psychological toll on civilians is significant, with many experiencing fear and anxiety. The escalating conflict has created a humanitarian crisis, with innocent civilians bearing the brunt of the violence. The international community has called for increased humanitarian aid and protection for civilians caught in the crossfire. Section 5. Regional implications and the risk of wider conflict. The escalating conflict between Israel and Hezbollah has raised concerns about the potential for a wider regional conflict. The involvement of other regional actors such as Iran and Syria could further destabilize the situation. Iran, a key supporter of Hezbollah, has condemned Israeli actions and vowed to stand by its ally. This has raised fears of a direct confrontation between Israel and Iran, which could have far-reaching consequences. The conflict also risks exacerbating existing tensions in the region, potentially drawing in other countries and escalating into a larger-scale war. The international community is working to prevent such a scenario through diplomatic efforts and calls for restraint. The current situation underscores the fragility of peace in the Middle East and the need for a comprehensive solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, which lies at the heart of many regional tensions. Section 6. International response and the path to de-escalation. The international community has expressed deep concern over the escalating conflict between Israel and Hezbollah. The United Nations Security Council has called for an immediate ceasefire and urged both sides to return to negotiations. World leaders have condemned the violence and called for restraint, emphasizing the need to protect civilians and prevent further escalation. Several countries have offered to mediate between the two sides in an effort to de-escalate tensions. Humanitarian organizations are calling for increased access to affected populations and for greater international support to address the growing humanitarian crisis. The United States has urged both sides to avoid actions that could further escalate the conflict. The path to de-escalation remains uncertain, with both sides seemingly entrenched in their positions. However, continued diplomatic efforts and international pressure are crucial to prevent a wider conflict and achieve a lasting resolution.